All right, so we're jumping into another episode of Orange Cubicle. Today we're have our guest, Mr. J, and tonight we have Chimerica and our favorite goose, Hype, in the house.
Yo,
Welcome everybody.
Hello.
hello, Kramer.
Hello, hello.
What's up,
Thank you,
guys?
Mr. J. Mr. J's
Yeah,
looking cute.
Mr. J.
yeah. We were chatting a little bit beforehand. It's just nice to hang out, see everybody in the flesh a little bit more, even with the goose representation. Just makes it different. It's nice to connect with people that we've chatted with for months and months now, and just doing a different atmosphere. So we're probably just gonna dive in, kind of look at things that's going on in the market. Mr. J, I know you've been very busy with Unicross, so let's just get that out of the way. And you want to chat a little bit about Unicross, and we'll go from there.
Yeah, sure. Unicross is a cross-chain inscription platform. The main focus, is with bringing the ethos of, Bitcoin, keeping assets on layer one, and then with that, we want to have like things that we can also do, like DeFi, games, and a lot of different applications. So these things can't really be done on Bitcoin layer one. We wish we could, but it really can't. So what we really want to bring forward is to keep the assets on layer one and your utility on layer two. So Unicross is it facilitates inscriptions of tokens. We're focused on inscriptions of token protocols like BRC20, ARC20, and also other protocols that might be requested or might be popular by other people, requested by other people next time. So the main benefits that we allow, I would say, is ease of use. You're inscribing on layer two without having to bridge your tokens back to layer one to inscribe, or having to bridge your layer one assets to layer two. And the second thing we do is we allow like liquidity flow, easier liquidity flow. So what that means is usually with inscriptions, you need like 3 confirmation blocks, and that could take 1 hour. And if it actually spikes more,
Yeah, or more.
it could take like days or
Mm-hmm.
weeks, right? So your money's stuck. And this is okay if you're doing like maybe 1 to 10, or it does matter to people as well. But obviously for people doing like 10,000 or 20,000 inscriptions, this will be a very significant amount. So what we do is we allow people to utilize that tokens in the form of ST tokens while the confirmation blocks are in process. So you can actually trade on our marketplace, and when the confirmation blocks are done, you can get it layer two version of your layer one inscription. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then thirdly, we will be moving on towards more utilities like DeFi and also Launchpad in
Cool.
the future as well. And recently, we just completed uh, inscribing, I think it was SAT or a BTCS or something
Mm-hmm.
on our testnet. And people were really enthusiastic for our whitelist beta testing. That's why everything was inscribed out 2 tokens. And
That's
people were
cool.
saying like, guys, I wish this was on mainnet, and we could go back in time to mint all these, right?
Yeah.
And we, during halfway through the testing period, we introduced a new feature that was to allow people to inscribe using inscriptions, your token inscriptions, or to basically your tokens on layer two. So for example, now you've already inscribed sats, and you feel like inscribing rats because, hey, that's moving. So if you're out of Bitcoin, or for some reason you just want to use your sats to inscribe, you can use sats to inscribe rats, use rats to inscribe MMSS, use MMSS to inscribe Pepe. So it's really that value cycle. And if it's still going, you can even inscribe sats with rats and then inscribe more sats again. So that's
That's
really
cool.
like what we want to help people do, is to number one, make it easy for people to inscribe on layer 2, and number 2, facilitate liquidity. Number 3, inscribe. Yeah, thank you.
No, that's great. Kramer, you have any questions or anything you wanted to jump in with?
No, man. First, I just wanted to say thanks for getting me on that whitelist, dude.
Yeah.
I was trying to play with the test net earlier today, but I guess there was like too many people using it or something. I couldn't get on it, but I'm looking forward to it, man. It sounds really cool. Like I'm trying to understand like the whole inscribing like with other BRC20s. Like, I mean, what does that do to like all the LP pools with that stuff that's going to happen on other platforms, and like what is that going to do with the value of all those type of tokens and stuff? I'm very curious about that.
We're very curious about that as well. So obviously, like, it's going to, I would say, bring utility to people who have their tokens. For example, if you're a community and you have a community token, so you can actually bring some utility to that in addition to, you know, other like GameFi or games kind of utility that you have on chain. So that's an extra level of value when you're thinking about different projects, like how they provide value. This could be like, you know, hey, you know, you guys can use our tokens to inscribe. So just I would say bolster the values of different projects, different token communities.
Well, and you mentioned that you want to have DeFi, right? So you might have pools or things like that yeah, let you move some things around. And I think that's a great aspect of bringing in liquidity and a utility to these tokens. Hype, did you have anything to add?
Yeah, I love also, yeah, thank you for letting giving us the whitelist. I thought it was a pretty cool. My question is more so like so you're inscribing on layer 2 and it reflects on
Yeah.
layer 1, right? And like where does that kind of like where does that leave that transfer inscription? Like does that go into custodial wallet and it's just like all in one wallet, or I'm more so like guessing like where does that go?
Okay, so when you're inscribing, you literally have you are literally inscribing on layer 1. The difference is that you would get like a layer 2 version of it. And yes, I hate to say this, but for the time being, we really hope that we could have a very decentralized or trustless method. But at this point, it's still not possible. So yeah, it's like a custodial wallet.
Okay, yeah, that's what I was kind of understanding, or like getting from it. Yeah. Like eventually I guess it would be like linked to one, like I guess like my own wallet. Now, like my question now is like bridging out. Like if I were to bridge out, I could also take it to layer 1, right? Okay, cool. Yeah, I think it's it's very neat. It's like it's kind of like needed. More so it's like needed for like, for example, we have Voya, which is like the current token on Merlin chain that's technically bridged over and is trading at the moment on Merlin chain. That's like where we need your platform, kind of like Unicross, where we could use Voya and bring it back to layer 1 if we wanted to. That's what I was like looking at. I was like, yeah, this is a no-brainer. It's like needed. Unicross. A1. Good job, Mr. J.
Yeah. I love how you were talking about
you.
too, like for, you know, someone that's just doing like 1 or 2 minutes, like, okay, you can wait. Yeah, if it gets stuck in the mempool, it's unfortunate. You can make the choice to speed it up or not. But somebody doing a large collection, you know, may need to just have these ST tokens and then have it on L2 and say, let these people bring it over at their own free will, right? So it's kind of like extending that seal model that Merlin seal is doing, but with a, you know, service aspect around it. I like that a lot. The one thing that perked my ears was you brought up ARC20s. So I found that very interesting, that, yeah, atomicals. So I don't think you've mentioned that before, have you?
No, at this point, we support BRC20 protocols on our testnet. But we do see like a lot of potential for atomicals.
Okay.
You know, you can see like Unisat, OKX supporting them. So it is something that you know, we really want to know like what the community wants, and then we can provide like that protocol as a service as well.
That's awesome for sure.
Yeah.
So no, thanks for that. I know you've talked plenty of Unicross over the last few weeks, so we won't beat you up on that too much. Great info as
Wait,
always, and we're definitely gonna be
I'm gonna need to beat him up on that.
okay. Get a couple more in there, sir.
Now we got
Yeah, go ahead.
Unicross, right? We got Unicross, we got Uniskelly. Now, where does Uniskelly fit in the picture here of like this ecosystem that's kind of built around the name Uni? Like unify, we're all unified.
It's funny, man. Like I did not know it was gonna be like Unicross when the names were discussed, right? So that's really a coincidence. But for Skelly Uni, it was a free mint, and it minted out over like I think three months. And much of it was to educate people on ordinals, and a lot of these people just hold Skelly Uni, and the ones that are active in the server, they get a lot of benefits like pre-sales. They also get like benefits from seed rounds and all these things that I'm in touch with. So I just try and share with the Skelly Uni community, and also like whitelist and all that. So a lot of things. And if they want to step up, if they want to get to know more people, or they want to maybe start their own like a DApp or like a PFP or whatever, I'm always willing to help members of the community.
Awesome. Yeah, that's kind of more so my question of like should we be like scooping Uniskelly in the background? That was more so my question to hit that. But we could continue J25.
No, that's good. Good, yeah.
Yo, just buy it if you like it. If you don't, it's fine, man. Like if you want to have like I don't know, closer chats or something like that, just hop into the server. Yeah. I've got like a few people who are active in my community, and we talk every day, man. Just helping each other out as well. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, no, and we appreciate you've always had amazing access to us, and you've been our link to the East and helped with translations, just hanging out and introduction. So, tons of flowers to you. Huge shout out to everything you're building, and we really appreciate you just giving us a chance and hanging out and becoming a friend, I hope. So yeah, what's oh, did you have something, Kramer? I saw you.
No, I was just wondering if Mr. J could actually just give us a little bit of the background of him, because I've always just known him through like base communities and Scullies, and just yeah, if you could just tell us a little bit about you and how you got into crypto, and how it all led to Unicross right now.
Okay. Interesting question. First off, I did not know anything about crypto until I met my girlfriend. I've always read about it in the news, but to be honest, it really took that extra like, hey, maybe you should check it out kind of thing, where from her, then I was like, okay, yeah, maybe I should check it out, right? Before this, people were telling me about it, but I just don't believe anyone. I still have a little bit of trust issues, but it's better now. So I shit you not, I started with like trading XRP, and that was like during COVID. It was like what 2018, 2019. Yeah, 2019. And yeah, this XRP gave me like some bags, man, and because they had like 2 like crazy pumps at that time, and then that gave me confidence to like be like, oh, okay, maybe crypto is something that I should look into. So I started going on chain with Binance because ETH was pretty expensive at the time, still is. Yeah, I played around, hit some gems, got rugged a lot. And then I went on to check out Solana because my friend told me JPEGs were cool. So, oh
Nice.
boy. Let's just say that Solana was really fun. I actually got involved in a few projects as well. But just really like a mod, and because my friends were in it, type of thing. But it made me learn a lot about like how strong communities can be. And I've always wanted to join bigger communities or talk to different founders, but I felt like the space was kind of gate kept, to be honest. And if you were nobody, nobody would talk to you. That's just how it is over there. I'm not sure if it is the same now. I hope it's changed, but that was my experience. And generally, I'm a very shy guy. I'm pretty much an introvert. So it was really hard to get a foothold in being in the community, other than the ones that I'm working in. So after that, came the bear market, and there wasn't really much going on Solana. I experimented with different chains like Aptos, Say, and all that before eventually landing in who was his name? 8-bit space, right?
Yeah.
I went on to 8-bit space and I heard about this thing called bitmaps. So 8-bit was running a lot of spaces back then, talking about bitmaps. And to me, it was just crazy. And I didn't know 8-bit before this. I don't know, like I forgot what his name was. Some really interesting name. And yeah, that was like my first break into Ordinals. Like, wow, bitmaps. At the time, I thought like, wow, this is like you can build applications and you can do things on Bitcoin. I didn't know about that. Isn't it like just store of gold, store of value? Now it's a store of data. So to me, like I quickly pivoted towards Ordinals. I was really running like a little group with my friends, with one of one skellies, and I told my friends, guys, this is going to be the next biggest thing ever in crypto. And I came out of that room alone. So I had to learn everything myself, make new friends, and through that, pretty quickly, I learned a lot about ordinals through bitmap spaces, and started exploring, and eventually met up with Bean, met up with Hype, not you Hype, but the other Hype, and
There's a few.
Alexa, and a bunch of other guys. And to me, it was like so different because it felt like family, and it felt like everyone was just being really genuine. And that's the kind of feeling that is like a family feeling. And it was something that I've never really experienced on other chains before. So moving forward from that, like we talk every day, we chill, we play, and eventually I started trying to find myself a fit in the market. Where what can I do? What can I do to like provide value to the market as well? So I thought maybe I could go on to like other spaces which are not English oriented, and learn more from there. Maybe share these things with each other. Um, Very fortunate for my parents to send me to like schools that allowed me to have this environment. So yeah, I started hanging out with a lot of like Mandarin speaking spaces with Chinese communities, and I think eventually some people saw some interest in that. So I started doing like some translations, some networking behind the scenes. And I cannot stress the importance of IRL events like Ordinal Summit, which is organized by Ordzar and experts. That one really like kickstarted a lot of things, man. Meeting all these builders, and everyone's just really down to earth. You don't get like a hand in your face saying like, no, you can't talk to me because you're a nobody, which I was very appreciative of that. I met Jeff. I think the highlight of that was meeting Jeff. We spoke in English for quite a bit of time before we realized we were both Chinese. Uh, so that was funny. and there was just so much connection going on over there, so much. And I still have friends that I talk to every day because of that event. And with the guys from Outzar and Akib and all that. And then what else? I organized Ordinals, the first Ordinals meetup in KL as well, in Malaysia. And that is when that day was the day when Goosenals actually had a cross-culture space. And I was like halfway through my event, I was just going into a telephone booth. I mean, they call it a telephone booth. Right? It's just a small room to talk to people, to talk to you guys. I think you guys were all there translating and also just celebrating Goosenals, because it was like the biggest, I would say the most, how do you call it? It's really something that brought like different communities together. And that was so beautiful. And what happened after that was just more networking, and eventually, like I just got into the Unicross team. I think maybe somebody liked me or something like that, and for what the things that I was doing. So yeah, I think that's pretty much the story of that. Thank you.
Busy year, dude.
Yeah, busy year.
So like,
busy year.
yeah, well then, but then like, how did you like, you guys come up with the idea for Unicross? Like, where did that all come about? Where'd you see like, you know, the demand for all this kind of stuff?
So the team behind Unicross, not sure if I'm allowed to say it, but it's ID Club. So they've already been like OGs in the space. They're really heavy in inscription, specifically token protocols. Token protocol before we had all the other protocols. So it was mainly like BRC20s before this. And to the tune that it actually captured 25% of all inscriptions. So 25% of the inscriptions were inscribed on their site. So I guess there's a good relations between like you see, it's very collaborative in the Ordinal space compared to, I would say, a lot of other spaces. So after that, they decided to build on Merlin because layer 2s are actually the future of Ordinals in many people's eyes, right? So just wanting to build like an extension or a totally different product, but also staying true to the ethos of being free and fair, and also keeping assets on Bitcoin. So I guess with that as well, eventually Unicross was born. Yeah.
Dude, that sounds awesome, man. I use that platform all the time with everything. That's mostly what I inscribe everything on. So
yeah,
that's
cheapest fees around by far.
Sounds great.
And
to be honest, yeah. Sorry.
No, go, Mr. Jake, please.
Yeah, to be honest, like not many people talk about ID Club, but seriously, it's really like the cheapest fees, man. If
Shout
you
out
inscribe
Rats
a lot,
Friends, bro. Yeah, I still got my Rats Friends.
Yeah,
Free
dude.
mint.
They got a lot of exclusive collections over there too. So they're pretty dope.
Yep. I got my 4-digit BRC 101.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Nice,
yeah.
nice.
Got a few of those, man.
Yeah. But yeah, that's for another day. No, shout out bringing up the Eastern meets Western culture. Huge part of why base community, Goosenals, OSD have had an edge, I feel like, in the market for the last year, and you're a huge part of that. And we all wish we would have listened to you about the blue boxes and had piles of them. So yeah, this guy is the OG of the blue box alpha right here. But yeah, speaking of IRL events, Hype, myself, and we want to talk to Kramer about going to Hong Kong. I think that we're really interested, and having a cameraman there would not hurt, right? So yeah, my wife said I can go. So I mean, I'm very tempted. I don't know if I can go for 2 weeks like they're talking about, but I would love to go. Yeah, it'd probably be like a week there, and they're talking about like maybe a week in Thailand to just relax. But We're going to talk about it seriously probably over the weekend. So, and I know you've extended gracious offers to help us out with the conference and everything and showing us around. So, and then
Yeah.
you know, Francis threw out a couple extra curriculars that might be happening in that space the other day. So, I'm sure it would be a blast and just a great networking event. I mean, honestly, we've talked to you, and it's great to connect with you here. Liliana, Jeff, Lorenzo, the Unicross team, etc., ID Club. We would just love to connect with all the people that we're interacting with, their services and tools and through spaces and whatever. So it just makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
But I was talking about it earlier today because I went to Bitcoin Miami. I decided on Tuesday, and I got there Friday. And I just said, I have to go. Like I kind of like you did, like Ordinals is popping off. This is going to be something huge, and I want to be more involved with it. And like people that I'm interacting with regularly, I met at those events, and some more, some less. But I have a buddy that I met there that was like almost dragged me out to ETH Denver this weekend, and I'm having FOMO for not being there because I know there's a lot going on there right now. But you know, I have other plans, just made a family purchase, etc. So you have to give and you have to take, you know, but hopefully we can make the Hong Kong work. That'd be really cool, really cool.
Oh, man, China is so wild. I used to work in China, man. Like
Hmm.
I
Well, I
fucking
figured you could even talk
wild out
because
there.
your wife's from Korea, right,
My
Kramer?
wife's Korean. Yeah, she's from
Yeah, so you
Korea.
could go there and then pit stop in Korea and come back, you know, kind
Dude,
of makes sense.
I was shooting music videos for Hire Brothers and like Lexi Liu and Jackson Wang and all. Dude, I got to have a good time out there.
Hmm.
Wow, that's so cool, man.
No, this guy drops a different story the other day. He's like, "Oh yeah, the other
Dude,
day
like
I was
I want to go
shooting.
back
I
to
used to do
Chengdu so
videotaping
bad.
for. I used to do videotaping for the NBA underneath the hoop, and Kobe ran into me. You know, like no
Yeah,
big deal, just Kobe, whatever."
Uh,
yeah, long stories. But yeah,
Yeah.
I miss Chengdu, man. I gotta get back over there.
Yo,
So,
Hong Kong is a different beast, man. Yeah,
mhm.
Yeah, dude, Hong
I'm
Kong's
so
cool.
excited to if we could like meet up and talk and maybe party as well, right? But yeah,
Never.
ordinals. Yeah.
Yeah, Hong Kong, you might have to be a little more careful, but
Yeah,
yeah.
we can get some Mao Tai. Let's go, baby.
I don't even know what that is, but it sounds great. Um, so Mr. J, you know, I know when you have a little bit of free time, you know, you probably are spending it with your significant other and trying to get things in. Shout out to you. I think we did a call on Valentine's Day, your time.
Yeah.
So, you know, yeah, appreciate you just always taking time and stuff like that. But what are you getting into, whether it's ordinals related or maybe in your free time, just getting into other things like what, you know, when you have some extra brain power, what are you putting it towards?
Uh, to be honest, because I'm always like I would say really busy. I don't know what to do when I have free time, man. Other than like spending it with my girl or
Yeah.
which is to be honest, like being in like I would say the hype of things the in the ordinal space, free time is seriously very limited,
Hmm.
and it does put a strain on a lot of things, including like a lot of relations. But yeah, when I have free time, I just really switch off and spend time with them. I don't care what I do. It's
Hmm.
just I just want to be together with like my family and friends. Yeah.
For
Actually,
sure.
my friends, not so much of friends. Like my friends are all here. Like most of it was with family. Yeah, and my
Very
girl.
cool.
Yo, this girlfriend that got you into crypto, you're still with this girl?
Yes. I think it's 6 years now and counting.
Wow.
Dude, don't fade that bag, baby.
Nah, I won't. But yeah, it's tough, man. It's tough.
Dude, that's an awesome story, man. I think you're the first person I've ever heard someone like that their significant other told them to get into crypto and like you better get into this. My wife always thought it was a
Yeah.
scam, man. When I was doing it, I was like setting up my computer. She's just like like setting shit up to mine. She's
Stop
like, what are you
wasting electricity.
making us all hacked?
Yeah, when I first started dating my now wife, but she moved in, first day she cried because it was so disgusting. It was a bachelor pad turned into she came to live with us. I still had one tenant like living with me that left a few months later, but it was like a transition period, you know. But I had two ant miners and a like 8 GPU ETH rig in the basement. So it was basically like, you know, like screaming in the house forever. And that's like what she walked into. I mean, we were dating for a while, so she knew, you know, what she was getting herself into. But yeah, eventually we shifted it to the garage and then they eventually like went away. But yeah, she still deals with me. I mean, if I panned around this room, I have like 5 computers laying around and different
Damn.
forms and stuff. Yeah, I just still have all this stuff. Now I'm doing indexing. So yeah, shout out OPI. Really looking forward to what they bring next. I think version 4 should be out any day, honestly. I know they're working hard with Unisat and other things to come. So yeah, so what are you looking forward to in the market? Mainly like Unicross, Merlin chain, or anything else, honestly, maybe a collection's had your eye.
In the short term, it's really about Unicross that
Mm,
we're trying to build, and I would say in general, what I'm really looking forward to is more applications being built,
yeah,
more games.
yeah,
Like I used to play a lot of games before like going heavy into crypto, and
okay.
yeah, it would be pretty fun to put two and two together. Like the
What?
games are usually like they're not really like games. They're like more of like not really games on crypto, right? Um,
Hmm.
you see products that are like on your phone. Those are real games on PlayStation and all that. So some not making a game for crypto, but a game that uses crypto, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, this
Yeah,
is something I always talk about is that you need to have an app or something where people aren't even noticing that crypto and blockchain is
yeah,
working in the black background, but they're gaining assets and their account is
yeah,
now a wallet or whatever. Starbucks
yeah.
Odyssey is a great example. Like people get these badges and this and that and don't even realize like they're technically getting NFTs and getting onboarded to crypto. That I want to see more stuff like that. And yeah, there's some conversations going on about that with different things. So hopefully, I'm sure that I know Jeff has a gaming background. I know Lorenzo does too. So what
Yeah.
games were you into or are you still into?
I used to play a lot of Dota
Okay.
and Counter-Strike.
Yeah. Okay.
Those were my favorites. Um, I would say like 80% Dota and 20% Counter-Strike.
Okay.
Uh, so I was really heavy into that. And then after that, as I got older, pretty old now, I play more like mobile games.
Yeah.
Uh,
When you have a
so
little free
it's
time
just
waiting or whatever.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's not so heavy. You can just like get in and out, right? Dota,
Yeah.
you can take like 2 hours, and then if you lose, you don't want to sleep because you want to win again, right?
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah.
So it really takes up a lot of time, and time is so limited. So yeah, mobile games for now. Just um, I like to play like adventure games on mobile.
Okay. Cool. Yeah, I
Yeah.
used to sorry, go ahead, Kramer.
Go ahead. Go ahead. You
I was just
first.
gonna say I used to play PUBG a lot. I know that's really popular in
Oh yeah,
Asia.
she's amazing.
But
Yeah, yeah, on the phone. I play that on the phone.
okay,
Yeah.
I didn't do it on the phone. I did PC
Yeah, I
mostly.
used to
But
play
yeah,
it out with my WeChat account on the phone.
nice. But yeah, it was that's like the first game I saw that died when it got out of beta. Like literally it was the hottest game ever in like pre, 1.0, and then when 1.0 came out it like died. It's still really big in Asia, but like for the state side at least. For
Okay.
sure.
Well, what's hot in the States then?
For
For
games?
Fortnite.
Yeah,
Fortnite?
Unfortunately Fortnite.
Fortnite,
Yeah.
Modern Warfare.
Yeah. Uh there's a new
Roblox.
Counter-Strike to Roblox, yeah. Minecraft still pulls pretty well.
Minecraft.
I mean, honestly, yeah, I could look at
I think
Twitch and
Dota is
just
kind of popular here too with a crowd and
yeah,
there's
definitely some professional leagues.
yeah, I think I credit why I fucking clicked with crypto was because I was a gamer and when I was a kid I
Same.
played all these role-playing games where they had their own currency like Dragon Warrior and Final Fantasy.
Valorant,
Oh,
that's the
you're
one I was
collecting all
thinking
these
of.
different fucking
Oh,
things. And then so like when crypto like when Bitcoin hit, like it just like clicked, man. Like so I think I I think video games kind of credit that. So
That's what got me into ETH mining. Like I put crappy games on my, first I bought a pre-built and then I started building my own. And then it was like, well, I know how to build a PC, so I might as well build this Ethereum rig, and then just kept going crazy on it. And I was like, oh, well, I might as well get this ant miner from China and send them money and hope they send me this thing, and they did. So yeah, that was pretty cool. No, I was a big Twitch junkie for a long time. So watched a lot of that. And then that's kind of carried over into spaces and stuff now. And if I couldn't play, I was like, well, I'll watch professionals play. It's fun. I like that.
yeah, I think
Yeah, dude, like
Warzone right now, but
you
yeah.
can spend hours just scrolling through like people playing games, right? That's what I do as well. I like
Mhm.
looking at people play God of War, what was that, Elder Scrolls as well.
Yeah,
And
you get to check out the new games and you don't have to spend
yeah,
60, $80 and be like, I suck, I hate this. You can watch somebody that's really good and
yeah.
dedicated to playing. Yeah.
Dude, honestly,
Or
since we
60, 80 hours training.
since we pumped like back in October, I haven't played video games since then, dude. I've been like so just in all this ordinal shit and like
Yeah.
what's going
Well, we
on.
were actually I put Fortnite updates on. We were actually thinking about maybe playing tonight, so maybe after the call if you're
Oh
interested,
man,
Kramer. I
Fortnite.
don't
I
know if
haven't
you
played
could sneak
Fortnite. I
away.
haven't played Fortnite since like season
I'm not a big fan, honestly, but they made
Yeah.
the non-building mode, like the OG mode again, and then Oni
Oh,
One Force. Yeah, this has a little Ordinals connection, but they built out their own map. So this is kind of getting more popular with Web3 teams, is they build out their own map and they brand it that way. And if you get like a reasonable amount of concurrent players and buying some assets, et cetera, which you can take elsewhere, you can actually create a pretty decent revenue stream. Because it, ads, clicks, time, they'll pay you, so it is an interesting aspect. So Oni One Forest did that, an ETH collection. They're bringing over a new collection to Bitcoin here in the near future. It's like I think 3,000 plus roughly. I was lucky enough, shout out the Bitcoin Benjis. I got a whitelist from them. So yeah, looking forward to it. It's a little pricey, but I'm an anime dork, so I'll probably end up getting it. But yeah.
well, what did you say it was? $3,000?
It's 3,000 piece collection. But no,
Oh,
I think
okay,
it's like
okay.
point oh oh 0.0098 or something. Yeah, like almost 0.01. So, a pretty good chunk of money right now for especially an ETH collection that's not done great, really. But it looks cool. I don't know. Their first play on Bitcoin, it's more of kind of a homer pick, honestly. I don't think it's going to be an amazing trade, but we'll see. Who knows?
That's actually an interesting point. I really appreciate people who are trying to do things like differently and also expanding not just in crypto but also outside of crypto and just having that synergy with different applications or games.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's really honestly why I ended up buying one of those pieces. So they came out around the same time as Bored Ape Club shortly after, had a huge moonshot and then fell off. Old team moved out. New CEO Star-Lord, he came in, and he's got a mentality a lot like Luca with the Pudgy Penguins, and we've seen their ascension on the east side if you're still paying attention. I know this is, Orange Cubicle, but obviously we're going to talk crypto, so it dives into there. But they're really going for comic books and that IP. They go to Comic Cons, they're putting out comics and things like that. So I think that they have a decent future of making a path in that way. It's tough. It's a tough niche for sure, the comic industry. But they're also
Yeah.
doing these Web2 plays with games and things like that. So I think that they have a really good mentality of rather just letting their collection flounder and go into the, heap pile of the hidden folders like most ETH collections.
Yeah. Man, things that are really like moving outside of the circle. Those are the ones that you should really watch out for because people like Pudgies, I think they did a crazy and good job on that. And when something like that happens, like you're gonna see other companies or other people jump in to really push the next one. So yeah, you're giving me FOMO for that now.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So I want to get hype back into this conversation. We need the master goose. What's up? What have you been interested in like in the past week?
Uh, Pretty much nothing. Not
Oh,
like
come on.
Well, what do you mean by that? That's a kind of like a broad question. What
In
has been?
ordinals, what have you been spending your sats on?
Oh well, as of lately, we have like this tab. I guess like past 3 4 days, I've been diving into the DMT stuff and looking at that. It's you just can't fade the volume. There's also nothing going on, or it's like, all right, I'll just look into this, but
Mempool, I can't even talk. Mempool fees are low.
yeah, mempool fees are low. Everything's looking great. And the volume is just, you can't
Undeniable.
just, yeah, it's just you can't fade it. Basically, you see everybody kind of just these DMT tap NAG collections or tokens, whatever they kind of are. They mint out, and then you see them trading on secondary. You could get in at mint price for like $5, $10, quick flip to $50, and you got a solid profit there. So that's more so what I've been looking at. I'm more so interested in this rune. Like we're coming up onto like runes, and like the rune mania miners is like the only thing that's like on my mind at the moment. Like next week they'll be dropping a dashboard with like all the points, or like points slash tokens that you will be getting or claiming. Don't know how that process would work, but yeah, all like the innovation that's happening around like just the rune, this like rune speculation is I'm just like preparing for that. I'm like looking at, okay, how am I gonna fund this Hong Kong trip? Okay, runes is coming up. I got an R6. I could flip that. I go to Hong Kong, come back, do the same thing. So I'm just like more so strategizing, and like yeah, I'm also like looking forward to going to Hong Kong, and going to like these events. I was planning
Sounds
to
like
go
he's
to
bought his
Denver.
ticket already.
Hey,
Yeah.
actually, I looked at how much the trip would be overall, and I said, okay, I could make that play. So yeah, I did that yesterday, last night. Foxy came into the space. Foxy's also working on some great stuff, like games, and like there's something crazy going on. But yeah, I talked to him. He told me like he was planning to go meet the people out there, and I just started looking into it. Uh, Built out the cost, and yeah, I was just like, that's seems like a great fit. May's coming, and then we have April, which is like that rune cycle. And I kind of want to throw it to Mr. J. Like, what are your thoughts on runes? Have you been dabbling? Like, do you have an RSIG? You don't have to disclose your bags, but what are your overall thoughts on like this whole rune stuff? Because like that's gonna be the main topic, and I feel like that's just gonna be like the thing that's hot like coming this spring. And as far as like, I talked to, who was it, Lingo spoke about how the code is just crazy. He's all like, this is insane. Like Chase is actually trying to build an actual kind of casino environment. So Mr. J, anything on runes?
Okay. First of all, I would like to point out that I'm not really a technical guy. But from what I do understand, right, is that runes takes out all the off-chain indexer stress. I would say, because now instead of like searching the entire Ordinals chain with whether who owns what and what's been transferred and stuff like that, now you have each rune is by itself, a UTXO, and we've seen like Atomicals try to do that, but it's taking some time. I would say runes is probably going to be the one that takes a lot of attention from the market, including from BRC20s. But BRC20s have been pretty rooted, so yeah, I would say that position is quite secure. What I feel like runes will eventually be is I would say a very good token protocol. Yeah, we look forward to supporting that on Unicross as well. Personally, I'm getting into every like rune airdrop that there is, because I mean it is like first different the protocol that you have everyone's eyes looking at. So yeah,
Yeah,
definitely
like
definitely
one
something
has
that
to
I'm looking
hit.
forward to.
Yeah, well, like eventually one has to hit, right? You want to get into like the
Yeah.
OG ones, like Arctic, Like, like if you boosted the Arctic, you got the Rune Mania Miner, but then before that you had like the Derp, but that had some kind of weird mechanics to it where like wash trading was involved. Then you have
Yeah.
Rune Guardians. Like, yeah, it's like a lot of kind of stuff going on, but I'm more so also interested in like the first 10, like the first 10 runes. So I myself am kind of preparing for that to happen, trying to set up a Bitcoin Core node. I don't know, Mr. J, if you're going to be participating, but yeah, I'm more so kind of heading over that hurdle because it's like we have like almost like less than 2 months to get that ready, and I kind of want to just be there, have everything prepared, connect the computer to like straight the Ethernet cable. I need to have like the fastest internet. So yeah, that's like more so what I was prepared for. And I wanted to ask you about ID Club. I don't know if you
Hold
could
on,
speak
real
on.
quick. Whoa, before we move off
Oh,
of
whoa, whoa,
runes,
whoa.
real quick. Yeah, shout out Harry at OW. I think that honestly that there will be tools out there where you won't need your client line. So I think it will be better service wise. I know other people are looking into this too. But yeah, shout out Harry at the OW team building on Signet already. He actually sent me some on their interface that he let us play around with the other day when he came into the OSD. And they're eventually going to have a marketplace. So basically, he's building a marketplace on Signet to just like port over to mainnet as soon as it goes live. Because the code is out there on Signet. Obviously, there'll be updates and changes that he'll have to implement, but that'll probably happen shortly before the halving. So you mentioned atomicals. And that's one thing that I do like to point out is atomicals or the other renditions of runes that have already hit the market. And so if runes is going to be this amazing protocol that changes, tokens as we know it, why hasn't that happened already?
There are a few things that we actually have to consider where BRC20s was first, right? You can say how like tedious it is to index it, how different indexers, like we see there were some issues with Binance or OKX that had some issues indexing, and that caused some problems. But it is still the OG, and a lot of people hold it. So there's going to be that back bias there, and the way I see it is runes. Maybe in some other space we can go deeper in it, but
That's fine.
it hasn't really taken off because it's not out yet, right? I mean, you see like the anticipation of that coming up to like the launch. Yeah.
Yeah, and well, that's my point because it's very similar to atomicals. Yes, it'll be different in different ways. Won't have proof of work. May have some other tweaks and things like that. But other teams have taken up the mantle of building runes and their modeled off of Casey's ideas, and it's had lackluster success maybe because it doesn't have the Ord client built in and Casey's backing. But does that really make a protocol and break a protocol, as one man say, in a decentralized atmosphere? So that's just my point on that. We can easily move on though. Go ahead,
I'd
one.
like to kind of, I'd like to kind of add on to that. It's like,
Sure.
more so like atomicals is not taking off also because like it doesn't have that influencer factor. Like you don't
Good
see
point.
the influencers speaking of it. You don't have influencers kind of encouraging the building. Where unlike, Casey kind of like in his Hell Money podcast was like, people spend too much time on like the dev work. Like, you're allocating a bunch of funds on like devs and doing like all this stuff where like really if you want to find a market fit you got to like target the influencers who are going to shill it and pump it. So that was like more so like what Casey broke down in his Hell Money podcast. But yeah, that's like what I see the problem in atomicals. It's like there's only like a certain group of people kind of building there, and like you got runes coming up. It's gonna get interesting for like both of those protocols. But I think like what like will probably take off atomicals would be like the implementation of Unisat. I know Unisat implemented atomicals like at a really weird time, and I just feel like they're gonna transition into gaming, and it will have to do with like this UTXO model to make it more efficient. Whatever they're doing, that's just like my speculation or my theory of atomicals,
Good
and
points.
just kind of like runes. But yeah,
Okay. I want to add on to that, bro.
Please.
apart from like influencers and all that, like there is something that is I would say fundamentally disadvantageous to Atomicals. I'm sorry if I offend anyone, but it is very much geared to people who are more tech savvy. Let's just put it that way.
Nerds.
Yeah, in not nerds, but anyways, in the
It's
beginning,
okay.
you really had to like mine it on your own computer, right? You can't. There's no interface to do it. It's like whoever has the biggest computing power actually wins. I mean, you can open up multiple windows to for the the command lines. You can have multiple windows for that, but you're gonna fry your computer. But say somebody who has a very good tech knowledge and tech capabilities,
Old ETH
they can
miners.
mint out something they can mint out something easily, and it's really not the free and fair kind of way where BRC20s were kind of like narrated, promoted, or actually is, whichever way you want to look at it. And I
Great
think
point.
that barrier of use is really what's the biggest hurdle for Atomicals. And I think there are applications to do it now, but what are you getting charged for that? You're getting charged pretty heavy for that. I'm not going to say how much it is to use it, but that's just that barrier. And you know, if these barriers were lifted, like I think a lot of people would be more than happy to try it out. It's just it's not that easy to try it out in the beginning. I would say, yeah.
No, great points. Yeah, going through a demon for Mod Ordinals Dark Forest. Hype and I did that one night, and shout out Mod Ordinal coming and helping us, because that was one of the most frustrating things I've done. And I've set up Ord client, OPI, old terrible ETH mining software, old terrible games, stuff like that. So yeah, it was honestly, I would have not made it through probably unless he was helping us. So that was really frustrating. I'm glad I did it,
Yeah.
but I probably would never recommend it to anybody.
Yeah, it's not easy. Sorry. Yeah, go
All
ahead.
good.
No, go. Yeah, I wanted to ask, kind of, if you know anything about ID Club's point system. If you you
Oh,
mentioned ID Club, so I'm like, I don't know if you're kind of connected and could tell us if anything kind of is going on with that.
you gotta be like in the
I have
top
no idea.
to get that boost.
I have no idea, bro. I have no idea.
Okay, it's all good. I wouldn't expect you to disclose it if you did either way.
No, I really don't. ID Club is ID Club, man.
Okay, understandable, Mr. J. Now, Mr. J,
Oh,
like, why the Mr.? I think we talked about this, but why the
he's a
Mr.?
distinguished gentleman. What are you talking about?
True. There you go.
This is really funny, bro. There was like a lot of J's. Like I just literally wanted to put a J, and to be honest, I tried, but it just feel like everybody's gonna like. I mean, different people are gonna have like J. I just didn't know what to do. Like, this was during like my time in I think Solana, and for some reason I saw like some people who are like Mr. something. I just put like, okay, maybe I'll just put Mr. J, and then what do I like to do? I really love to degen, so at the degen at the back of the name is Mr. J Degen.
Right on.
That's a simple answer, and that's really all it is, bro.
Yeah, like
Okay.
when we host spaces together, it's always like, oh, JT5, Mr. J. Oh gosh, you guys need to change your name.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've really enjoyed that. I'm glad that we've linked up and done a bunch of spaces together. And yeah, we got one in the morning. Well, morning for me, evening for you.
Yeah.
And it's just been, yeah, a lot of fun. So shout out to that, and hopefully tune into that.
Yo, this
Yeah,
week in
Mr.
Ordinals,
J.
Mr. J, what got you shocked? What got you excited? What got you upset?
Like it.
What got me shocked? Oh, I think nothing shocks me anymore. What got me excited? Dude, bitmaps got me really excited. Like, it's just a freaking line of text, man. And so many like wild ideas and like a metaverse and the whole chain came out of it. Merlin was a continuation of like Jeb's bitmap tech, and it's just crazy how things evolve from bitmaps, right? So that's what's getting me what's got me really excited, and what's getting me excited for the future as well. What was the other one? Sorry.
What got you upset?
What got me upset?
That you haven't gotten stoned yet.
I would nah. I'm not
Just
too bad
kidding.
about that. I'm really upset that
Uri is fighting
more
Jeff.
people. Nah, I'm not. I'm really upset that more people are not turning their heads towards Ordinals, because look, if you're already pretty late, you know, like 1 year ago we were just talking about Ordinals, and today, 1 year later, we're on layer 2 now. So where are you gonna? I mean, when are people going to realize that this is really like what's going to be bigger than a lot of other protocols out there?
For sure.
Those are my
Good question.
Interesting question, man. I like that. Put me on the spot.
Do you have any questions for us? Let's turn the tables.
Yeah, I'm actually really well, J25, I talked to you a lot, and I think we, like you mentioned, we did a lot of spaces together. So I don't really have a lot of questions for you on recording, but I have a question for Chromerica actually. Like, how does a filmmaker, you know, do you see like films a possibility in this space? I know it can be very expensive to inscribe, but is movies cost like $300 million or $500 million anyway.
Not anymore.
Even not anymore.
I mean, dude, it just seems like AI is just going to suck up a huge chunk of the economy with all that, at least in my opinion. But sorry, I didn't mean to
Okay.
interrupt you. Go ahead. Keep. What else were you
No,
asking?
that was my question, man. Like, do you see a possibility of a movie on Bitcoin?
Yeah, I think people have like been trying to do something like that before, maybe on ETH. Like I've seen a lot of film related Web3 projects on Ethereum and other chains. Mostly with like distribution and marketing, and like raising funds for making films. But yeah, I think they're still all trying to figure out that stuff. I think there was some studio that is starting to do NFT assets for like movies and stuff. I can't think off the top of my head right now, but it was like a big one. I want to say like 20th Century Fox or somebody. But yeah, I mean, dude, I would love to like put video on a chain somewhere. Like it would be super cool. I remember when recursive was like first being mentioned in the whole ordinal space, and like people, there was like all these conversations in spaces talking about how we could put video up and do stuff like that. And I mean, it hasn't really happened too much, but yeah, I'm very interested in that kind of stuff, man. Yeah, if you have any resources to point my way to that, I would, yeah, dude, send me a link.
Doge, I would definitely talk to Billy Bitcoins, who's been really into Doge. They are able to put full like uncompressed big files on Doge, and they're doing some really interesting things over there.
Really? How big of a file?
I don't know, honestly. But yeah, you should check out Node Runners. I actually started to put my Doge wallet up because I'm going to run a Doge node. Eric, BRC20s, Eric mentioned the other day that it's essentially kind of turning into the test net where you can make money still, and it's a full L1. And obviously we know it's all, just a fork of Bitcoin, from Litecoin to Doge. And I just, yeah, I got a little bag of it, I've been aware of it, but I really do like that aspect of experimenting on there and seeing what can happen. And I think a multi-chain, UTXO model might be in the works. there's been mention, even with you brought up Atomicals, I've heard that they wanted to do some applications that would go to another chain and come back. I won't mention said chain because we all have, you know, not the greatest things to say about it, but you know, any chain that's adding value at the end of the day and doing cool experimentation and building, you know, more power to them. So I really like what he's doing. They have a very open source, decentralized mentality with their group. They're calling the Node Runners. So I'm all for that. They're actually going through a little dispute of, you know, kind of like Casey's implementation of runes waiting to the halving, and they're calling it dunes. So that's kind of cool. But and then Billy's like little cohort is like, no, screw that. We can do whatever we want. Let's just run with it. So I mean, I love that aspect because honestly, that's my biggest gripe against runes is that one man has dictated from his ivory tower how it goes and gets rolled out, and has taken his runes ball and said, no, we're going to go at the halving, not when other people in the community choose to do it. So that's probably my biggest gripe about it. But you know, it's not my gripe to have. We'll all just, you know, go about it as we do.
I just like to add that I'm so proud of Billy. He's done an amazing job with Note Runners, and the way I've seen Note Runners grow is insane. Because he invited me in pretty early on, and although I don't really chat there, I do like monitor and see what's
Same.
going on. Man, it's crazy, bro.
Yep.
It's crazy. This is not the same Billy we know from BSV, bro.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it.
No, experimentation, man, and I'm all about it. And honestly, yeah, I've listened to their spaces a bit, and their mentality is just right in line with where I'm thinking. So
Yeah.
I want to support them. So I'm like, I'm gonna spin up my Doge node. I want to see if I can run it next to OPI. And I had a PC crash a couple times, so we're gonna make a couple tweaks and see if we can juice it up a little bit and make it happen.
We gotta get in that, man. Doge is gonna fucking run, dude.
Yeah.
Doja knows, bro.
Yeah, and just that little comment where it's like it's the test net where you can do literally basically anything. There's no devs holding you back. There's no laser eyes. It's the meme coin chain. Do whatever you want, have fun, and you can make money. Like, how can you get better than that? Like, I don't really care about that. I'm a nerd behind a keyboard that likes breaking shit. The fact that I can get returns on my investment on top of being a nerd behind a keyboard is big for me. But yeah, if other people are going to come in and trade and do their thing, sweet. But the same thing with like Atomicals and doing a demon, it's that I wanted to do it. The same thing with like starting OPI the first week that they send it out. I just like doing that kind of stuff. So yeah, I'm gonna have my node running here eventually, and we're gonna inscribe, and it's just a cool little playground. And then also, yeah, I think Doge has a great play, you know, as a trade in the near future. So yeah, I guess let's go around and do like one more comment, question, whatever it may be each. We're hitting about the 1 hour mark, so I don't want to go too much over. But for me, just a pleasure. Really glad that I was able to meet you. Shout out Bean and Based Artists for bringing this group of
Yeah.
degenerate artists, builders, whatever the hell we are, and just having a lot of fun with it. Yeah, I think it's, you know, near the end, so we can mix it up a little bit more. Who's going to watch to this end, you know? But I just love the fact that we had a bunch of lone wolves that really just didn't know what they were doing. You know, we all have our disparate passes, maybe had projects that didn't work out the way we thought they would, came from ETH, other chains, BSV, whatever the heck it is. And we're moving forward, and we're all doing this experiment. Mr. J has his experiment. Hype has, you know, turned into the goose fluencer that he is. All of us have just kind of found our own role and worked with it, and it's been a blast. So it's been a pleasure working with you, Mr. J, and just thank you for your time.
Thank you. Thank you.
Mhm.
I think with Based, it's really a family that brought everyone together, and I think Bean did a great job doing that. And yeah, to be honest, I think it's really hard to keep people together, especially when everyone has their own goals and aspirations. But so far, it's been doing it pretty well. Yeah, I'll shout out to Base again, man. I love Base because
Yeah,
that's literally where I started on Ordinals.
Abaji, Bean, Big Opa Bean.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, man. I appreciate you too, man. Like you're always inclusive and you're always like answering questions and helping people out. And I really value your opinion in the space. And yeah, man. Let's fucking go.
That's
Let's
right, Mr.
fucking
J.
go.
Let's go. Shout out Mr. J. Yeah. I'm still like every time I like think of Mr. J or like see Mr. J's name, I always just remember this one time during the KMB man. It's like he just came up like it's like late night, just like he like probably like 5 to 6 people in this space, and he's all like, "Yo, hi, what you doing? It's really great. Um, you're like doing a really good job with like whatever you're doing." He's like, you're gonna be kind of like the next Frank D-God. So I'm like, I'm still like trying to process that. But yeah, thank you so much, Mr. J. It's been a pleasure, having you around, like your advice and just everything, like the support that you show us and like the whole base community. It's like brought us all here together, and couldn't really happen without being and like everybody, um, Alexa, Cowboy, everybody just like in the
Yeah.
forefront for like all this to kind of happen. Like those spaces they ran. Like I was a listener in those spaces. That's kind of what motivated me to like run spaces because they weren't running any spaces for like a whole week, and then it kind of
Yeah.
like we relied on the community to kind of keep it going, and that's kind of like the spirit of like what we're doing. It's like trying to push the space forward and onboard and educate and like bring other builders and creators who have like the same mindset. Because yeah, it's like we got to all kind of unite to make this work. But yeah, thank you, Mr. J.
For sure.
Yo, you guys are too kind. Thank you guys. And we're I always like to think that we're all family, even though we can be lone wolves, but we stay true to each other. And hype, I really do believe that you have the potential to do that. In due time, man. In due time. What you're doing with OSD, with J25, America, you guys are doing a great job. I never realized how important spaces were until OSD came about. And it's like you have that place where if somebody was thinking, where should I go to ask some questions on OSD, right? And also where do I get the alpha? Who can I talk to about ordinals right now? It's like some random hour. OSD, and then you have like other structured spaces where you can dive in deeper, but you also have like a conversation space. I think that's really valuable.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And then the
man.
trailer park antics,
Yeah, but it's a good way
Yeah,
to
yeah.
support people, man. So
It is.
Yeah,
It is.
I just really enjoy the teaching aspects. That's kind of hitting close to home for me. But just the fun, like if we're not
I
having
like playing and fun about everybody.
yeah, the FUD train. Yeah, we are the FUD show, whatever. It will live it. But and then this is an extension of it. So, it's just like one thing after another and just looking forward to see what's next. Well, with that, it's been a good little while and just, yeah, thank you very much for your time and we will see you again. That's just another one down at Orange Cubicle and hopefully we'll see you again when Unicross is making big waves or we'll just catch up with you for the fun of it. So cheers.
All right. Cheers, man. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, dude. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
And we are out.